many folks like to get outside and enjoy nature and walk and hunt, bird watch? Yeah. My wife Karen and I love to get out in nature. We love to go camping. In fact, we have experienced Texas and the United States in just about every weather condition you can imagine. From 110 degrees to nice 75 degrees down to -10. We've been in thunderstorms, we've been in snowstorms, we've been in hailstorms. We get out all the time and just enjoy nature. A couple of weeks ago, about 4 weeks ago, we went down to South Padre Island, and we were just going to escape and just enjoy the weekend. At the end, just before we left, I looked at the weather, because you need to be prepared, right? So I looked at the weather, saw there was going to be some light rain that night, so I threw in a light Gore-Tex jacket. Figured I didn't need anything more. So we got down there, and we spent 2 fantastic days hiking and enjoying and bird watching. We got to 102 different species of birds just in that 2-day trip, which got us to 367 for the entire year, which was exactly where we wanted to be. It's a huge goal to get more than the number of days in the year. We were so tired on Sunday night, it was so hot and humid, all we wanted to do was get back to the campsite and just enjoy a steak dinner on the grill. About the time I got back, we started to grill and the light rain started coming down. So I pulled out my phone and I said, oh, looks like it's going to rain all night long. Light rain. So we started packing things up. We moved the chairs, we put them in their cases, put them up under the bed of the pop-up camper. And what we have is a pop-up camper. It's about 20 years old. So this is not a big one that you pull. It's a pop-up. And the reason I would do that is I'm 6'5" and I can't fit in almost anything else. Everything else I hit my head right about here. Mm-hmm. So we keep a pop-up camper, but we don't have a lot of floor space. If you see the newer campers, they have the bump outs. And the bump outs sometimes have bump outs just to create more floor space. So we've been doing modifications in our camper to give us more floor space. So we enjoyed being inside that evening, and we had a little bit of space to move around. And about 10 o'clock when I decided to go to bed, I looked down at my phone and it said, oh, heavy rain, 2 to 4 a.m. I said, thought about what I had moved around outside. I went out and I moved the grill farther up underneath the bed so it wouldn't blow around, and thought everything would be fine. Went to bed about 2:25. All of a sudden my iPhone went off. Alarm. Tornado warning. My wife had grabbed the phone and she hit my leg. She says, tornado warning, figure out where that's at. And then she rolled over and went back to sleep. So I'm looking and I'm trying to figure it out. And I finally find out it's 10 miles due south of where we're at, moving directly north. It's going to be on top of the tip of South Padre Island at 2:40 a.m. Well, I looked down at my watch, and it's now 2:33. So we got 7 minutes before this tornado is going to be on top of us. I reached down and I grabbed my wife's leg. I said, we got to get up. We got to find shelter now. So we grab our light Gore-Tex jackets. We grab our sandals. We throw some towels up underneath the jackets, and we take off running. So as I get outside the camper, I'm rounding the edge of the camper. I look back, and my wife's nowhere to be seen. I'm like, what's going on? I look back around the camper, and there she is taking some towels down that are hanging outside, and she's putting them up underneath the camper. And I'm thinking about life and death, and here she is thinking about things that are going to blow around. I said, leave it alone. Let's go. So she finally chases after me. And we get up to the main building, which is an old oil tank. And it had been hollowed out to be an admin building. So we took refuge in there in the vestibule of the restroom. And as we're getting in, about 2 minutes before this happens, we're standing there and we're drying ourselves off. And at 2:40, just about the time the tornado was supposed to be over us, the light went out. And you could hear the motion and the wind on the outside. And we're thinking, wow, what's happening? And then all of a sudden, about a minute later, I hear somebody who steps outside of their vestibule because there's another person on the other side. And sure enough, they're looking down the hallway. So I poked my head out and looked, and you could just see the sheets of rain going by the glass door window. And the trees, palm trees, almost bending over at 90 degrees. And you could hear things moving around outside. Thinking, wow, what is going on? So we went back into the vestibule and we waited until things died down. Finally, about 3 o'clock a.m., we decided to head back outside and see what's going on. The rain had slowed down, the wind had died down, but it was so dark because there was no power. We couldn't see what things had moved around, except when we were out by the campers. You could see a lot of trees that were down and limbs that were down. Nothing we could do, so we went to bed without air conditioning. It was hot. It was still 80 degrees. We got up the next morning about 6 o'clock, and I was talking to a young lady who swims in the pool every morning from 5 to 6:30. And she looked at me and she says, "So what happened?" I'm like, kind of obvious. We had a storm. We had high winds. She goes, No. All the tables are in the pool. All the chairs are in the pool. I can't swim. I don't know if somebody put them there. I don't know if they blew in. It was heavy winds. She goes, "Well, I'm just going to have to avoid it because the bridge, the causeway coming into South Padre is closed. There's power lines down throughout the entire city. Power is still out. This is really bad." So we ended up about 8 o'clock. We got up, we packed up, we wiped as much as we could off of the water, off the camper, packed it up, and went home. Tuesday morning, we get the newspaper in San Antonio, and it says 110 mile-an-hour winds broke down 38 power poles. So I guess so we realized that our camper had survived another event, and our preparation and action helped us get to security.